So look who we have here.
Hi everyone, this is Abena. I'd like to thank you so very much for tuning in to my YouTube channel, Embrace Natural Beauty, where it has been my goal to share with you simple tips and techniques that have been helpful to me in my very own natural hair journey, which at this point, being that we are in the year 2025, we are in year 14 of my natural hair journey. And for the first 10 years, I was focused on length retention. The last 4 years have been focused on getting to my ideal shape. Now, something else I have the pleasure of sharing with you all is, choosing to go to Aubrey One World treatment was a special treat for me in many ways. And because, we agreed to do a collaboration so that I can share her with all of you, because I believe she's a very talented stylist, and I wanted to make sure you all get a chance to meet her and see the work that she is doing. The wonderful thing about my hair assessment appointment with her is she did a scalp assessment in addition to the hair assessment. And when she did the scalp assessment, you all, she uncovered some things that I was not anticipating. And to be truthful, to be honest with you, I was sitting there like I really, I'm not concerned about hair loss. I'm not concerned about swelling or irritation or inflammation in my scalp because I don't have any issues with my scalp. I'm that girl. I'm like, I don't have anything. There's nothing wrong with my hair. There is something wrong with my hair, but not my scalp. I wasn't concerned about my scalp. So fast forward when she started to share some of the content that we both have. We both have this content. I was reminded of that scalp assessment. It was a very thorough scalp assessment. And in that, she had uncovered some things that were very interesting. I felt as though it was indicating something that was not exactly, my typical outcome for my scalp or for my hair. It's simply because I had gone for several weeks without washing my hair. I was using products that I don't normally use. I was testing out different mousse products, in preparation for consideration of developing a foam of my own line. And so I had also been very, very busy attending different functions for family and friends that I was eating out, eating foods that I wasn't typically eating. So I was introducing stimuli into my body and on my hair and to my scalp that were triggering, these responses that she was able to identify when she did the scalp assessment. And so you're going to see some of that. And the beauty of having her do this here, service that she does typically, I believe, for majority of her clients, is that as a registered nurse, she's determined, how important it is to identify certain things in the body. And she said something that really stood out to me. She mentioned, and you'll see it in the video, that this inflammation, is a reflection of gut health. I know I have been very intentional about my diet. I don't eat a high sodium diet. There are certain foods that I know my body does not do well to digest or to metabolize, so I stay away from them. But when I saw Aubrey on that occasion, I had been through a series of eating out, eating foods that I don't typically eat. So it was presenting in her analysis something that was not reflective of my typical. So I wasn't really concerned at that moment. But as a stylist, to have the ability to assess whether or not your hair or your scalp is presenting indicators that you want to address your diet because of certain things, I do believe there is a level of importance there that we could benefit from as stylists and as clients. And so I do know that Aubrey has introduced a wonderful course. It is the masterclass for, it's titled Beyond the Curl. We as stylists have had the pleasure of training with other stylists, different techniques, different things that are in their tool belts. And so Aubrey is sharing with us something that is in her tool belt. As a registered nurse and as a healthy hair advocate, this is something that she has incorporated into her routine for hair and scalp assessment to do this very thoroughly. And I believe that if we are aware of different indicators that can better inform our decision-making process, we can have our bodies in better condition so that the hair that grows out of it is also in better condition. So I encourage anyone and everyone who is able to participate in her training, her masterclass for Beyond the Curl. I've already registered for it. I've already gone through the course. It's very extensive, so I had to go through it a couple of times, and look forward to incorporating some of the things that she has brought to our attention or reminded us of, because they are very valuable, and we can save some follicles, we can save some hair strands, and we can do a great, robust service, for our clients. So I'm thrilled to support, what she's doing. I'm very proud of her, and I look forward to seeing the many people who will be blessed because she took the time to put this material together. So I wanted to share that with all of you.
So look who we have here.
Do you want me to tell the people why I decided to drive down? Well, not drive down. Come down to Georgia?
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
I have been adjusting to more moisturizing method of caring for my wash and go. Prior to that, the hydrate and define process that I was following actually led to more drying of the hair, and as a result my hair did experience some compromise to the extent that I'm not exactly sure, but I do know the low porosity section in particular and the top of my head suffered the most. So I did go in January to get my hair cut on blown out hair specifically so that we could remove all of the compromised ends that needed to go at that time.
So you were saying that you wanted to have a...
Yeah, I'll say it. So I had my hair blown out in January and cut, and with that blown out cut, there was some compromise that was addressed, but I felt like there was still some more that needed to be looked at more closely. So in talking with you, Aubrey, I determined that you would be ideal for actually doing a thorough assessment of my hair, so I can really address what needs to be addressed. I feel it when I detangle my hair. I feel it when I handle my hair. I see the way my hair behaves. So I know it's not all healthy like it used to be. And I know it's much better than it was in January, but it still has a way to go. So I kind of want to get a good, close-up look at where it's at. I've been doing assessments. You've been doing them longer. So I know you're way ahead in what you've been doing, what you've put into place, what you've learned, and I'd like to have the experience on my own hair that I believe you've been able to do with some of your clients.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for trusting me with your beautiful head of hair. I know how much our hair means to us. And so the basis for healthy hair is a good, healthy scalp. Without it, it doesn't matter really what the hair looks like. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I always start with a good scalp assessment. Now, when was the last time that you shampooed, clarified, did all the things for your hair?
I did a last wash on Tuesday of the previous week. I can't tell you at this moment what the date is, but I know June 24th was day 8 since I had washed my hair.
Okay.
Because that's the day I would have washed my hair. June
and
24th.
You shampoo normally how often?
Every week, every Tuesday.
Okay. And that's because?
that's been my routine for years. I prefer to have my hair washed on a weekly basis. It helps to keep the hair and the scalp clean. It reduces the amount of shed hair I'm going to deal with. If I go longer, I know there's more shed hair to deal with.
Gotcha.
And that minimizes the tangles I'm going to experience. Less tangles, less breakage.
So you were doing, let me make sure that I understand it, before Cut It Kinky, before any of that, you were already shampooing your hair once a week.
Yes.
So the old YouTube videos that we used to see with your girl, that beautiful, beautiful hair.
Every week.
That was your routine.
Yeah. Every week, yeah.
A lot of people may not know how much clout you really do have when it comes to the natural hair, and how well you took care of your hair on your own. They don't know that.
Is it just one video? Oh, I thought you were taking pictures. Okay.
Not video. So the redness in itself shows that there is some inflammation.
And you showed this. Was there? Oh, this should be on the other. What did you say about this side over here?
It's, here, turn it up so you can. And I'm going to describe what I'm seeing here. So this is where I see the change in color of your scalp and the amount of flakes and the way the flakes look. And I'm seeing it in other areas too.
So you just saw flaking, but you didn't see redness over there. I didn't see
Not as
redness.
much. And I'm getting ready to part that area. And I'm seeing
I ain't ever see the back of my head like that. Close up too.
So there is redness. So that is inflammation. And so that has to do with your
The diet?
gut health. Like I said, seborrheic dermatitis has to do with yeast, candida, to be more specific. I don't want to film your foot. So this is where the side is, but do you see the redness?
Right here.
Yeah. There's a distinct difference in a scalp that looks normal. You see the normal areas of your scalp versus the areas that has the excessive flaking. Those areas are reddened. You see normal and you see red. And so that's scalp health. Okay. Any questions about
I'm
that?
wondering how different it would look if I had not missed a week of washing.
The issue is not how long you have gone in between shampooing, it's the way that your scalp reacts.
I mean, does it react differently? Haven't gone that long.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to, there's a cutoff time for most people. Either it's a product that can cause an immediate reaction to, like foams. Foams for people with seborrheic dermatitis usually do not react well. But again, it is an internal issue. It's not so much just an external issue. It's where that external product aggravates the internal issue, and then you see the flare up. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That I didn't know though, because I thought it was all internal, the flare up. For people who have seborrheic dermatitis, it's usually related to, my experience has been triggered by dairy.
Yeah, there's for each person, it could be different. So a food allergy test, food tolerance test is one of the things that will help you see what your triggers are, to be exact. But then there could be external, environmental. They could be allergic to environment, and then it could cause a flare up. They may have tree allergies, nut allergy, all this other stuff that could come, it's a combination of things that can create the perfect environment for the scalp to react. The scalp, and people don't understand how imperative scalp health is. The scalp is the first place that you can kind of start to assess gut health a lot of times, because that's the one that's going to start to, like if you see people with psoriasis, you already know that that's an internal issue. Eczema, all of those inflammation, those are all inflammatory responses that the body is sharing with you ever so politely that, hey, something is off balance. And so that's our job, is to recognize it, see it, and then correct it, because so it doesn't continue. Because once that first red flag comes up and you just go on your merry way and you continue to do the things that it doesn't like, then the flags get bigger and louder. Does that make sense?
Of course.
Yeah. So
my dear, what do you recommend that I do?
Well, you got to assess your diet. For most people, if they're having anything that I see, if they're having any signs of inflammation in their body, I recommend that they go see a integrative health physician or some kind of practice that looks at more than just the regular labs that a doctor may prescribe for you, because they're not going to go in depth for you. Dermatologist, it depends. But someone that is a holistic doctor, they do a better job, in my opinion, of pulling things out and assessing lab work that otherwise would go missed. And they just do that's their job, is to look for the things that the traditional medicine does not.
So I'd be interested to find out what it is that I've eaten, because my diet has actually been better, but I have gone out the past couple of days to celebrate my niece's graduation. We went out there, and we went out for a birthday celebration on Sunday, and we did Father's Day the Sunday before. So there were foods that I was eating on those days in particular that I don't normally eat in my diet.
Very well could be. Very well could be. But the first thing is get a food allergy test. That's what I would determine to be, and a environmental allergen test. And so usually when I've gone, they do one side of your arm with food, the other one with allergies, environmental. So that's the first thing. But the beautiful part about it, your scalp health overall looks really good. I don't see the Red Sea widening. I don't see any inflamed follicles. Hey, that's so good.
That is very good.
Yes. I do see some new growth, because usually what I like to pick up is I start to look at the crown, because the crown is usually like that baby that is very sensitive to most things.
The most fragile area.
That's the one that says, baby, I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. And so the good thing is in this area, because it is so fragile and it takes the biggest beating, you know, sun exposure, all of the things, it happens at the very crown level. And so that hair typically has the biggest beat up than the hair underneath, because that hair underneath is protected.
And in addition to that, sitting under the hooded dryer.
Correct. Correct. So I don't see any splits in this particular section. The strand is smooth. Now, I'm not saying that there is not other signs of wear and tear and weathering on the hair, because clearly there are. I see areas that there has been breakage. And how I know the difference is because hair that is just normal hair growth is long and kind of tapered on the ends. Hair that has broken is straight. Does that, you know?
Sounds like the opposite of what I anticipated. Hair that has worn out or actually has incurred a split, the ends are thin because the split occurred, and then you had that tapering.
Yeah, now that could very well, and you're right about that very well, because that hair strand will automatically be thinner, and I do see a couple of those living there. So back to what I was saying, I don't see any active splitting.
Oh, gotcha. You see the evidence of what has split in
Right.
the remains of the split.
Yes, what we got left. And that's why the hair is easier to break, because it's already suffered breakage. Splitting is a sign of breakage. It's just part of it. But you got, like, you know, that little, there's a difference between what we're going so far as a new growth. Like, your gray hair comes in at different rates of growth because it's filling in where that black hair went. So I expect it to be doing what it does. Gray hair is just gray hair. But the longer dark hair, there are strands that are full, and then there are strands that are much finer. And those are the ones that I think that have split.
And you also see the texture change. The first 3 inches. Remember?
Well, I have yet to, once I shampoo and condition your hair and I really see how that hair reacts, I will comment on that a little bit later, or what I really think, because you describe it as, oh, sorry, babe. You describe it as your low porosity hair. I think the texture of it is just different. It's coarse, it's coarser, meaning the surface texture feels a little bit more coarse. The other hair feels a little bit more silky. Well, you got some that's starting to split. And it's just, how long has it been since you had a trim?
I had a cut in January. It wasn't a trim, it was a cut. And that was the area that needed more cut. The area that you know.
So I definitely see splitting on the ends. They wouldn't be as far down if it had gotten removed.
I know. Because I encountered them when I washed my hair the very next time.
Okay. So I'm not too far off.
No, not at all.
Gotcha. So we're going to go to the shampoo bowl and we're going to get a clean head of hair. And so that concludes our initial assessment. Are you surprised by anything?
Yes, the seborrheic dermatitis is not something that I was anticipating hearing about, for my scalp.
Well, it's not a diagnosis, it's an assessment. The dermatologist is going to actually say whether that's the case or not. That's just what I am seeing, all those signs that could be.
Right.
So I hope I'm wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it was just this past week, 2 weeks of eating out, introducing foods into my system that I don't normally eat, like with lots of sauces and things that I don't normally consume.
But one thing, I may be wrong about your diagnosis, but one thing I am not wrong about is the inflammation. The inflammation is clear.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't have to have a doctor behind my name to see inflammation. I can assess that as a nurse.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
After this hair assessment, my hair was blown out and cut. If you'd like to see that video, click here.